growth in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, "If you want to be given everything, give everything up," they weren't using empty phrases. Express yourself completely, then keep quiet. Be like the forces of... There is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. Completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. 24. He who stands so far, he who tries to shine, dims his own light. 25. 25. There was something formless and perfect.
Hi, this is Janae calling from Airbnb. Am I speaking to John?
Yeah.
Is now the time to talk?
Yeah, sure.
Mr. John?
Yeah.
Is now the time to talk?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and we have to give you a call. So we are waiting for documentation from your air cover request against Nick. And I just wanted to know when you think you'll have the documentation so that I can set a follow-up for myself.
Probably in a few hours. I got a guy coming over right now to give me a quote on the flooring, so.
Awesome. Okay. Alrighty. So I'll set I'll set a task for myself tomorrow, and I'll just check in tomorrow and see if he's emailed me.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks. Talk to you soon.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
It is serene, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it
The Tao.
the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. 27. A good traveler has freed himself of concepts and keep mind open to what is. Thus the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If he is the great secret. "28. Know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black, impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the master knows the utensils. A time for being in motion. A time for being at rest. A time for being vigorous. A time for being exhausted. A time for being safe. A time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are, without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. 30. Whoever relies on the Tao always rebounds upon oneself. The master does his job because he believes in himself. He doesn't try to convince others because he accepts himself. The whole world accepts him. 31. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity, and if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can he be content? His enemies are not demons. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. All things end in the Tao, as rivers flow into the sea. 33. You are truly rich if you stay here and embrace death with your whole heart. You will endure forever. 34. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold, since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures. It can be called as the book of the imminence of the way, or the book of the way and of how it manifests itself in the world, or simply the book, the classic manual on the art of living, written in a style of gem-like lucidity, radiant with humor and grace, from a 60s joke to ask, what is the meaning of life? But it's clear from his teachings that he deeply cared about society. If society means the welfare of one's fellow human beings. His book is, among other things, a treatise on the art of government, whether of a country or of a child. The misperception may arise from his insistence on wei wu wei, literally, doing, not doing, which has been seen as passive disciples and heirs, the early Chinese masters. With great poetry, the freest translation is sometimes the most faithful. Must try its effect as an English poem, Dr. Johnson said. That is the way to judge of the merit of a translation. I have often been fairly literal, or as literal as one can be with such a subtle, kaleidoscopic book as the Tao Te Ching. But I have also paraphrased, expanded, contracted, interpreted, worked with the text, played with it, until it became embodied in a language that felt genuine to me. If I haven't always translated Lao Tzu's words, my intention has always been to translate doesn't talk. That is what Lao Tzu told us in a book of 5,000 words. If he was the one who knew, how could he have teach mind is Buddha? Matsu said, to stop a baby from crying. The monk said, when the crying has stopped, what then? Matsu said, then I teach, not mind, not Buddha. The monk said, how about someone who isn't attached to either? Matsu said, I would tell him, not. Matsu said, I would just let him experience the great Tao. In fact, the truth is right before our eyes, right under our noses. So simple that every child understands it. And yet, as Bankei said, the farther you enter into it, the deeper it is. Where is the way to the way? What a question. Still, for complicated minds, drastic measures are needed. Lao Tzu's book was written as a response, out of grandmotherly kindness. This is legend, but it is an accurate description of the way in which true teaching happens. He who knows doesn't talk, but words are no hindrance for him. He uses them as he would use gardening tools. When someone asks, he answers. Tao Te Ching. 1. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. The gateway to all understanding. Other things become ugly and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. 6. You can use it any way you want. 7. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born, thus it can never die. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. Because she is like, thus it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, compete. Everybody will respect you. 9. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. Be nothing but the light. Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Giving birth and nourishing. Having without possessing. This is the supreme virtue. 11. But it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. Deafen the ear. Flavors numb the taste. Thoughts weaken the mind. Desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. 13. Success is as dangerous as failure. Is as dangerous as failure. Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. But does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. You can deal with whatever life brings you. And when death comes, You are ready. First is one who is despised. If you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. The master doesn't talk, he acts. When his work is done, the people say, "Amazing. We did it, all by ourselves." When the body's intelligence declines, cleverness and knowledge step forth. When there is no peace in the family, filial piety begins. People will be 100 times happier. Throw away morality and justice, and people will do the right thing. Throw away industry and profit, and there won't be any thieves. If these three aren't enough, just stay at the center of the circle. I don't think you should be able to send an email to some parliamentarian. I think you should have to get a full meeting writing to the parliamentarian. Request the whole signature on. Request the whole. What difference between yes and no? What difference between success and failure? Must you value what others value? Avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. Other people are excited, as though they were at a parade. I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless, like an infant before it can smile. Other people have what they need. I alone possess nothing. I alone drift about like someone without a home. I am like an idiot. My mind is so empty. Other people are bright. I alone am dark. Other people are sharp. I alone am dull. Other people have a purpose. I alone don't know. I drift like a wave on the ocean. I blow as aimless as the wind. I am different from ordinary people. I drink from the great mother's breasts. 21. Because she lets it. Since before time, and this is true. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. Let yourself die. If you want to be given because he has nothing to prove, he can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is. People recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, "If you want to be given everything, give everything up," they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself.
Tom?
Hey,
Hi.
how was your breakfast?
Yummy. I did spinach with some beef, ground beef, made pasta, and put a bunch of garlic in it.
Garlic, nice.
Yeah. I bought us a bag of tangerines.
Mm.
Do you like some?
Yeah, I got little baby clementines up here.
Yeah, yours looks kind of old.
Baby genies.
It's been a jewel for quite some time.
Maybe it was called genies before. Who knows?
I think you could tour it as you pass through it, and you learn what's been working, more than not working. I've had people tell me I'm what was that lady's last comment? Somewhat kind of like bossy, pushy. Well, it works. It works in the world of business. If you are the strong, then you get recognized. If you're weak, you definitely get.
Oh, hold on one sec. Hey, Juan.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Are you able now, in like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. See you soon.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. Hey, yeah, I got the flooring guy coming over.
Oh, I want to go down there and be there. I was thinking about, since you got so many levels going on in there, they got carpet in the rolls at Depot and Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
It's their cheapest product. You could have a guy, you could have that guy do a measure while he's down there. And then tell him you don't quite yet know how you want to handle it, but listen to what he has to say. And then you could go to Lowe's and Depot, have a big, actually Lowe's and Depot does come in and install it. Epoxy? I don't know how you keep it in its spot without making some kind of a form around it. Then you'd pour into that form. I had it done for me once in Grand Junction. Come to think of it, it was a self-leveling epoxy. It finds its low point.
I changed the listing so people know that pets are not welcome. But some, people always just say, "Hey, it's my service animal," but chances are people won't do that. Very rare.
Yeah, but you even have to say no to them. I don't care. It's a dog. I don't care what kind of animal it is. It's the owner that you have to rely on. If they walk them or not, and if they're going to leave them for too long, that kind of thing.
So the Airbnb called me this morning, and they are waiting for an invoice. So this guy Juan, who's coming here, he did all the plumbing in the coach house, and he has a company name. So I need him to create me an invoice, or at least list him on the invoice, so I can send it to Airbnb to get reimbursed.
What do you pay us a guy a few bucks to do something like that?
When I get reimbursed from Airbnb, I'll, if we use him or we don't use him. But he's a pretty talented little guy. He's a tiny little guy. What
does he do?
He does painting, plumbing, electrical. I mean, there's probably nothing that this guy can't do. He's been doing it for quite a while. He's got a truck that says home repair, handyman.
You know that wall
plate and wall switch you got in this bathroom.
Mhm.
It's called a decor. I got a huge box full of it. I'm going to pass it to you. It's valuable. I just had so many electrical updates in that new house that he pulled all that stuff out, moved everything. So I'm in the new ones, and they're those nice flat kind that rock.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Got a huge box full of those. And when you come into your bathroom in this place, you'll see what I'm talking about if you want them. People dressed up last night.
Yeah, not everybody, but 30-40% maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's the kind of place I imagine people would do that. Good for them.
It was.
I slept so hard, and having a third beer, didn't even click that I was undernourished. I felt terrible this morning. I thought I was in danger zone.
you got a hangover, huh?
Yeah, I got it.
It was a piece of pizza and had 3.5, drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Really one is probably your limit.
Yeah, I'm a lightweight when it comes to alcohol.
So, anyways,
to get a buzz once in a while.
Would you want to go to?
Was,
Do you want to go to LA Fitness later, or do you want to do the power walk in the Forest Preserve, or both? Because there's a Forest Preserve over by the LA Fitness as well on Foster.
Yeah, is it a nice long one with trails inside?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm not sure I want to go walk around a forest. I'd rather just go to the gym.
I do. Oh, thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye.
23. Rains. There is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. Loss. You are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. 24. He who stands on tiptoe doesn't stand firm. He who rims his own light. He who defines himself can't know who he really is. He who has power over others can't empower himself. State of body awareness in which 25. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. The Tao follows only itself. 26. Heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants.
Obviously, I know you were Priscilla.
What is a bad man
I know you were Priscilla.
but a good
You know
man's
what?
job?
I had to leave the office, buy new clothes.
If you don't, great secret. "28. Know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black. Be a pattern for the world. If you are a pattern for the world, the Tao will be strong inside you, and there will be nothing you can't do. Know the personal, yet keep to the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous and the world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. "29. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. Like an object, you'll lose it. There's a time for being exhausted. A time for being safe, without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way. Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. He doesn't try to convince others. He doesn't try to convince others because he is content with himself. The whole world accepts him. 31. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity, and if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value. His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in victory?
Hey, Juan. Okay, I'll be there 1 second. Bye.
And delight in the slaughter of men. Smaller than an electron. It's smaller than an electron. It contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. All things end in the Tao, as rivers flow into the sea. Legends. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. "34. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness. Thus, it is truly great. 35. She who is centered in the Tao can go where she wishes without danger. She perceives the universal harmony, even amid great pain, because she has found peace in her heart. Music, the smell of good cooking, may make people stop and enjoy. But words that point to the Tao seem monotonous and without flavor. When you look for it, there is nothing to see. When you listen for it, there is nothing to hear. When you use it, it is inexhaustible. 36. If you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes